All right, so for the short foot exercise, I'm going to have you start just by gripping with your toes. Good. And then all you do there is you just lean forward and backwards while you keep your heel in contact with the ground. And then I usually start with like maybe, I don't know, 3 sets of 10. It's a classic PT number. Somewhere between rep 1 and rep 30 is where the magic happens. Try not to crinkle the toes. So what you might do is like you do a couple where you just like grip. Mm-hmm. So do a couple where you do crinkle and kind of like grip, like make a fist with your foot. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good. Yeah, so try not to do that. And then, yeah, there you go. And then just keep that. Just go as far as you can control without starting to kind of, yeah, there you go. Without having to grip anymore. There you go. So you can do that periodically throughout the day. Awesome. It's forward lean, number 1. Yeah, make that same kind of arch lift with your foot. And then use whatever you need to for balance, and then go all the way up while you maintain that arch lift. Good. Make sure your weight's somewhere in the middle of your foot, not too far on the outside or inside. And then slowly lower down to neutral. And then usually I start, unless there's another reason to, I go 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. And then early on, we're generally trying to build capacity, build endurance. So if we can, we go 2-0, 2-0. So 2 seconds at the top, or really maybe for something like this to make sure you're holding it at the top. You get a second hold at the top, and then minimal rest at the bottom, not bouncing out of the bottom, coming right back into it to make sure you can comfortably repeat this. 3 10s, build up to 15, and then we go with our progressions. Nice. I feel okay?
Yep.
Nice. Want to just go a couple from the side?
Yep.
Perfect. Yep. Still in frame. Awesome. Awesome. And I'll just have you go head forward once you feel like you got good understanding of where your weight is in space. Then obviously, like, a thorough evaluation of the other goings on in the body can really cue us into covering all our bases. I think you said no major history like back pain or like numbness, tingling, loss of sensation in the foot, feeling like your foot's falling asleep, nothing like that. Cool. Awesome, man. Great. Sweet. And then the way we progress it is then perfect. All right. So for the left one, we're going to go lifting all the way up on 2, just like we were doing. And so you got a good general understanding of your body weight. If you start, weight 50-50 and then lower down, make sure you are exactly kind of right in the middle. Try and keep that needle smooth throughout. Sometimes that can cue you into some medial lateral weight shift. You can just do this at home with a bathroom scale, and you don't necessarily need fancy piece of equipment, as long as it is reliable. Doesn't need to be super precise, just needs to be reliable. Perfect. And so then as we progress, then you can go hold it at the top and then shift maybe 75% of your body weight. And then can you keep 75% of your body weight on that leg as you lower down to neutral? Great. Perfect. And then, back to 50-50, then 75-25, and then keep it 75, and then back to 50-50. Perfect. Nice. All right. And then if you can, when we go basically like 99, 100. Yeah.
That's a hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So use that right hand just a little bit more if you need to. And if you can keep that weight pretty much the same, then we are probably loading there. But yeah, what's interesting is like, a lot of times like we might have truly like maybe like more of a 3 out of 5 versus like a true 4 out of 5 in terms of like an actual plantar flexor strength. But a lot of times, because that's dependent on so many different things, that at least from what I have seen, we can build that up relatively quickly. Nice. And then you'd go single leg heel raises. And then once you can get 3 sets of 15 single leg heel raises, then I'm going to start with your rebound plyometrics. Potentially, if we're really trying to accelerate this return to sport, we can do maybe some trampoline stuff, some other kind of like jogging iterations. As long as you can get a few single leg heel raises, I think that helps ensure, especially in the context of a more severe Achilles injury or a repair, gives a little bit more insurance that we're not overloading that tendon. Yeah, and make that same kind of arch lift, shift your weight back just a little bit further, perfect. And then use your arms more than you think you need to start. Mm-hmm. And then perfect, good, and then just straight down, awesome. Because really, in terms of like the load, if you use your arms more, but your knees are back further, then we're actually creating a greater joint moment for these plantar flexors. So that's when I can, that's when I'm just like, all right, do we need to add additional external weight, or can we just be really diligent about this and then we add the load that way? And if you can start with about like 6, and maybe give it a rest there, make sure everything feels okay. Good, being able to kind of really smoothly control the lowering. Awesome. And make sure that weight kind of stays back towards the ball of the foot as you go down. Nice.
Yeah, definitely feels weaker on the left side.
Yeah, I believe that. And the first set or so, make sure you get a good, what's it called? I wouldn't do more than 15 to start, just to make sure that, when you get out of it, you don't have any of that kind of rebound tenderness or discomfort. But how's that feel there?
That was good. That was
nice.
Harder than it looks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, does it feel like a squat kind of thing, and then a lot of calf work?
Yeah, a lot of calf work, but in a good way. No,
nice, dude.
Like it was needed.
Yeah, awesome. So I usually I'll go like three sets of like 6 the first time to make sure we're not doing too many, and then quickly ramp that up to like 10 to 12. Yep. And then once we get 15s, we progress it the exact same way as we did this. Sweet. So those are my big 3 there.